had to, sorry about that. So I'm Daver, I'm a fragrance bro, of course your best source for everything fragrance related. Today I have a video, of course as you saw, about fragrances that terrify you. Now maybe you're like me and there are some fragrances that you try that maybe they unsettle you in certain ways. Maybe they might be unwearable, or maybe they make you self-conscious, or maybe they just bring up a weird emotion, or they do actually scare you in some way. They make you feel anxious. Today I have some of those fragrances. Now all these fragrances are good. They're actually good fragrances, but all of these unsettle me in certain ways. Of course, if you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe down below and click that little bell so you get a notification every time I make an upload. Now, the first selection of choices I have here are just dark scents. Scents that are just really, really dark. And the first on the list is Lamp Black by Bruno Fazzolari. Now, Lamp Black is a brilliant fragrance. I have a full review of that if you want to go watch it. Lamp Black is named after a type of ink that was used. It was made from soot from lamps, so that's where they get the name. Apparently, it was one of the darkest blacks they could find, and so this fragrance is like that. It's like the darkest, blackest fragrance that I've ever smelled. It's that dark. Now, there are certain notes in here, but really what comes to mind is a lot of things that are just black in color. Like I get asphalt, I get ink, definitely. I get maybe a little bit of skunk. I get smoke, certainly. Soot, yes. It might be a little bit hard to wear, and it unsettles me a little bit whenever I wear it, but it is so artistic. If you like dark scents, you gotta check out Lamp Black, but I'll warn you, it's dark. Dark. Bruno Fazzolari is a brilliant perfumer, and he has a lot of accompanying pieces of art that go with his fragrances, or maybe fragrances that go with his art. And the art that went with this was ink-based. And so I think that's so cool. He's just a brilliant, brilliant mind and great perfumer. Definitely check out Lamp Black. Next is Sombre Negra by Yosh, another one that I have a full review of. The name itself means black shadow. It's hyper masculine. I get like a patchouli, peppery, oak moss thing going on with a little bit of citrus on the top. It's really rough and rugged, and because of that, I can't wear it a lot. And it is sometimes difficult to manhandle, I guess you would say. And at times it does unsettle me, but it is a brilliant fragrance. And man, Yosh Han, one of the nicest people I've ever talked to, just an incredible, incredible perfumer. So definitely check out Sombre Negra by Yosh. Next is Laudanum Nero by Tiziana Terenzi. And this one, of course, is definitely dark. As you can see, even the bottle is dark, like a matte black, which I love. It's a brilliant fragrance that does harken to other fragrances that I've tried, like Black Afghano, but I think it's better than that. But it's like an ambery, oudy, dark, spicy, resinous, maybe even a little bit of rotting wood. It reminds me of like deep, dark places in the forest where you don't want to go, the places that you find in horror movies. And because of that, it is a little bit horrifying in some ways, but maybe in the best possible way. But Laudanum Nero, fantastic dark resinous scent, so definitely check this one out. Next is Neanderthal Dark by the House of Neanderthal. And Neanderthal has to be one of the most impressive fragrance houses that I've tried within the last year or so, maybe within the last 5 years. I mean, it is that impressive. I've never seen a house that has such a cohesive design philosophy for everything. Their flyers, their samples, their bottles, everything is so well thought out to the minute detail. The fragrances themselves are stunning, and they have 2 fragrances that I know of, dark and light, with more to come. And just look at this bottle. It is a work of art. It's a ceramic bottle that has magnetic top on there. Apparently these are unique, so you get unique bottles to go along with your scents. Really cool. And man, this is dark. It's dark in a different way though, so it's also more wearable, which I really appreciate here, but it is dark. It has leather, amber, oud, resins, pepper. Neanderthal Dark is that dark primordial cave that you want to go in. You might not come out, but you want to go in. Definitely check out Neanderthal Dark. Okay, so the next few fragrances are going to be just scents that disturb me on some level. The first one is Poivre Samarcand by Hermes from their Hermescence line. And this is one that I love. It's a 5-star fragrance to me. I have a full review of it if you want to go watch it. Absolutely love it. My problem with it is that every time I wear it, I have one person somewhere that says I smell bad, that says I smell like maybe like BO or something. And now I don't get that. I don't get that type of smell, but I'm always self-conscious now whenever I wear it. The scent itself is gorgeous, which is pepper and oak, and I believe some cumin in there or caraway. And it's just a beautiful, spicy, woody scent that is right up my alley. It's just hard for me to wear now because of all the comments. So yeah, Poivre Samarkand. Definitely check this one out though, for sure. Next is Secretions Magnifiques by Untitled Chapter. This one is infamous for being reviled in the community. Its claim to fame is that the notes in it are reminiscent of bodily fluids. So there's notes of maybe sweat, breast milk, blood, semen, lots of weird things in there. And you might be thinking, why would I want to smell like that? That's a good point. Fair enough. I don't know. When I tried it, I was very unsettled and very off-put, like most people, though I didn't really hate it. It was kind of one of those weird, attractive, yet repulsive type of things that you might want to try again. I don't know. Along that line, Lord of Goathorn is my next choice. And Lord of Goathorn, one of my favorite videos that we ever made for Fragrance Bros. You can go and watch it here. Hilarious. It was our first impression of Lord of Goathorn, and it did not go well. And I'm not sure what their philosophy or idea was behind this, but what came out of it was this really weird sulfuric yet fishy fragrance that is disgusting. I mean, it's definitely bad for me. So maybe I should retract that first statement at the beginning of the video. And it might be something you want to try just to see how far your fragrance taste can be pushed and how far a fragrance can be pushed artistically before someone hates it. But Lord of Goathorn, terrible. And it was frightening and terrifying in the least. Next is another one that I'll probably get flack for, and that's L'air du Desert Américain by Andy Tower. Another one that I had a full review of, and we were pretty negative about it. And some people have asked over the years, has your opinion changed on L'air du Desert Américain? No, it hasn't. I'm not a fan of L'air du Desert Américain for a number of reasons. One of them is that it is so strong, but another one being that it's really harsh and aggressive and almost caustic and chemically in a strange way. Some people really like that. Some people kind of perceive that as that dry desert air type of thing. I don't. So for me, when I wore it, the few times that I wore it, it was difficult to wear. I was very self-conscious about it. It gave me a mild anxiety being around other people, and it was one that was not pleasant for me. If that's your taste, by all means, go for it. Wear it all day. But for me, it was just not a moment that I ever want to repeat. And to close out the list, the next few fragrances are going to be animalic fragrances. First on the list is Dior Leather Oud. Now, before Dior changed their Privé line to their Maison Dior collection, or whatever it's called, they had the Privé line, and this was one of the staples in it. And it was leather and oud, front and center. Very, very animalic oud. And paired with that leather, made just like a really super obnoxious, fat, stinking animalic scent. I mean, it was like, how do I go out in front of people wearing this? Because I thought it smelled like a butthole, like a stinky butthole. But then something changed in the formulation, and it was definitely not my nose in this case, but they changed the formulation and they softened it up quite a bit. And whenever I smelled it the second time, years later, I could actually tolerate it. And I could wear it again if I wanted to, which I didn't. But it was definitely a lot more wearable at the time. As it stands now, I'm not really sure. I don't know what's up with it now, but it is definitely one that was horrific. It still gives me nightmares whenever I think about that experience. All right, next is Musk Kublai by Serge Lutens. And Serge Lutens is a wonderful French niche house that is very artistic. They have a lot of amazing, amazing scents. Musk Kublai, definitely one that is hard to wear. And it reminds me a lot of like furs, like that type of fur, type of smell that has hair and kind of the skin and animalic type of thing. For some people, it just kind of accentuates their own type of smell and adds to it, or maybe is a contrast to it, and it works really well for them. For me, I just want to forget it. Last on the list is Bull's Blood by Imaginary Authors. Now, I am an Imaginary Authors fanboy. I think most of you guys know that. I love Imaginary Authors. Bull's Blood is very animalic, but in like a cattle type of way. It does remind me of like cows and cattle and bulls. I don't really get much blood in it, but I definitely get that animalic thing going on. There's rose in there, which helps a little bit. cuts a little bit of that, but not enough. But it is dirty, and barnyardy is the key phrase there is, barnyardy. This has been a really good seller for imaginary authors. It was one fragrance that they started the line with and has been just a perennial favorite by a lot of people. And what's funny is every time I get something from imaginary authors, there's a remnant of bull's blood in the package. For whatever reason, that stuff must be strong because it always seeps through the packaging, which I guess I won't count against imaginary authors in this case. I find this an odd duck in the imaginary authors line just because most of their line is really accessible and wearable. And then there's this one, which I think is like in your face and aggressive and harsh. So it's a really strange addition to have in the line, but hey, it's working for them. Maybe it works for you, I'm not sure. It's great to sample because you can try it from their line. You can get samples from their line on their website, so definitely check that out if you want to. With that, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Fragrance X. Fragrance X is an online retailer that sells thousands of legitimate fragrances for a discounted price. If you're considering buying a fragrance, definitely check out Fragrance X. I'll have a link down below to them as well as a coupon. If you're wondering, I get a lot of questions about this, about what I wear sometimes. So I'd like to let you know, this is a shirt from Taylor Stitch, which I really love. This is called their Midnight Donegal, which has a wool blend with some really cool red flecks in there. I don't know if you can see it. Really cool. Definitely go check out Taylor Stitch if you think these shirts are cool. So that is all I have. What are some scents that terrify you? What are some scents that really scare you in some way? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Of course, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'll love you for it. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with the Fragrance Bros. Bye.